Brad Pitt just walked into court and dropped a bombshell that left everyone, judges, jurors, lawyers, completely stunned. What does Hollywood's golden boy have to do with Diddy's criminal trial? Way more than anyone expected.
Nobody saw this coming. On day 18 of the explosive trial that's already rocked the music industry, the courtroom was hit with one of the most shocking moments yet. Brad Pitt took the stand. Not as a character witness, not as a celebrity supporter, but with first-hand testimony that could shift the entire case. What he said, and what it means, might be the turning point prosecutors were waiting for. But it also opens up a whole new list of questions. And not everyone believes Brad's involvement is as random as it seems. Let's break it all down.
This trial isn't just about Sean Diddy Combs anymore. It's become a tangled web of celebrities, alleged cover-ups, secret connections, and possibly a criminal network that stretches deep into Hollywood's elite. Over the past 2 weeks, we've seen testimonies from music execs, former assistants, bodyguards, and even anonymous sources. But day 18 threw the trial into uncharted territory. Because Brad Pitt didn't just show up. He testified under oath about an incident that ties directly to one of the prosecution's most serious charges. That leaves us with some big questions. Why is Brad involved? What did he reveal? And is he speaking out for justice or protecting his own reputation?
Let's rewind a bit. Diddy is currently facing multiple serious allegations, ranging from financial fraud to conspiracy, illegal surveillance, and even allegations of violent misconduct. The prosecution has worked to paint a picture of a powerful man who used his wealth and influence to silence people, erase evidence, and keep dangerous secrets buried. But they've had a hard time proving some of the more dramatic claims. Until now. Here's where Brad Pitt enters.
According to court documents, Brad was subpoenaed after a sealed witness statement claimed he was present at a private event back in 2015, an event that allegedly turned into something much darker. The party, hosted by Diddy at a rented mansion in the Hollywood Hills, reportedly had a guest list full of A-listers. Think actors, musicians, influencers, basically a who's who of the entertainment world. But the statement alleged that behind the scenes, something went down that night involving illegal substances, coerced behavior, and a violent outburst that left one attendee hospitalized. Here's the twist. Brad Pitt wasn't just a guest. He was reportedly in the room when the incident happened. And for years, he stayed silent. But now, under oath and facing legal pressure, Brad finally spoke, and his words shook the courtroom.
In his testimony, Brad described the atmosphere of that night as chaotic and controlled. He said there was an unspoken understanding that no phones were allowed, no photos, and nobody was to speak about what happened. Brad said he stayed mostly to himself that night, but couldn't ignore what happened in the VIP lounge. He testified that he saw a young woman, identified only as Witness K for her protection, being aggressively confronted by two men. One of them, Brad confirmed, was Diddy. The other is still unnamed, but believed to be a member of Diddy's inner circle. Brad said, "I remember it vividly. She was crying, she looked scared, and I heard her say, 'Please don't.'" That moment of silence in the courtroom after he said that, you could hear a pin drop. Brad also admitted he regretted not stepping in. "I didn't know what was going on exactly, but I knew it didn't feel right, and I should have done more." That line is already making headlines, but here's the thing. His regret may not just be moral. It could be legal too.
So now, the court and the public is asking, why now? Why is Brad Pitt speaking up after nearly a decade of silence? Here are the main theories circulating right now. Theory number 1. Brad is protecting himself. Some experts believe Brad knew that if he didn't cooperate now, he risked being seen as complicit, especially if more details came out linking him to the event. By testifying, he's placing himself on the right side of the story.
Theory number 2. He's cutting ties with Diddy.
Rumors have been swirling for years that Hollywood operates on loyalty and silence. If Brad is breaking the silence, it could mean he knows something bigger is coming, and he's trying to distance himself early.
Theory number 3. He was pressured by other forces. There are whispers, and that's all we can call them right now, that another celebrity might have pushed Brad to testify, possibly someone connected to Witness K, maybe even someone Brad dated in the past.
Theory number 4. There's more to the story. This theory is the most chilling. Some believe Brad's testimony is just the tip of the iceberg, and that more big names are going to be exposed in the coming days. If that's true, Day 18 was just the beginning of a major unraveling. Brad's testimony plays perfectly into the prosecution's timeline. They've been struggling to connect Diddy to specific violent behavior. Most of the previous witnesses spoke about general patterns of abuse, control, and intimidation. But Brad's statement puts Diddy at the center of a specific, documented moment of potential assault. Even more important, Brad is credible. He's not a disgruntled employee. He's not a rival. He's Brad Pitt, one of the most respected names in Hollywood. That makes his words incredibly powerful in the eyes of a jury, and prosecutors know it. Immediately after his testimony, they filed a motion to introduce sealed footage that they claim supports his statement. It hasn't been released yet, but insiders say it might include surveillance footage from the mansion that night. Footage that could be the smoking gun. Diddy's legal team was visibly caught off guard. They quickly motioned to challenge Brad's testimony, claiming it was incomplete, inaccurate, and unreliable due to the passage of time. They also suggested Brad may have been under the influence during the party, which could affect his memory. But let's be honest, trying to discredit Brad Pitt is a risky move. Social media is already lighting up with reactions. Some people are praising Brad for finally speaking out. Others are calling him a coward for staying silent so long. And a few are asking the uncomfortable question: what else has he seen over the years that he hasn't talked about? The climax of Day 18 wasn't just what Brad said. It was how it shifted the tone of the trial. Before his appearance, the case was still being seen by many as a high-profile media circus. Accusations, celebrity gossip, dramatic claims. But Brad's testimony added a layer of legitimacy. Suddenly, the trial didn't feel like just another Hollywood scandal. It felt real. It felt dangerous. And it felt like a turning point. The jury looked visibly shaken. Even the judge asked for a brief recess right after Brad stepped down from the stand. You could tell. It hit different. From that moment on, everyone in that courtroom knew this wasn't just about Diddy anymore. This was about an entire system that let this behavior slide for years. And Brad Pitt, knowingly or not, just helped open the floodgates. So, what does all of this mean? Brad Pitt's testimony has introduced new weight, new evidence, and a new sense of urgency to a case already bursting with drama. His words put Diddy directly in the crosshairs for one of the most serious accusations yet. They also raise new questions about who else might be called to testify, what evidence might be waiting behind closed doors, and whether Hollywood's power players are finally being held accountable. This trial isn't over, and if Day 18 was any indication, things are only going to get crazier from here. Watch the next video to find out who might be the next A-lister called to testify. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe button. Share your thought in the comments section.